welcome to the Music Room. I'm Duncan Taylor. Today we're talking about a pair of speakers from one of our favorite speaker brands that we represent here at the Music Room. The brand is Harbeth, and the speaker is the C7ES-3 XD from Harbeth. And here we have a pair in lovely Tomo ash finish. They also come in walnut and cherry. Now this is a special speaker from Harbeth. The legendary Harbeth designer Alan Shaw calls this his absolute favorite speaker. It's known as possibly the easiest speaker to drive in the Harbeth line and the easiest on the ears, and perhaps even the easiest to place as well. It's a two-way design, and the heart and soul of this speaker lies in its woofer, which is really doing most of the work in this whole speaker box. And it's that material that the woofer's made of that points to the whole origin story of Harbeth to begin with, and kind of gives you an idea of where their priorities lie. Now in 1977 in England, H.D. Harwood was just leaving the BBC after a long career full of innovation and patents. He had the patent for polypropylene. One of his tasks was developing driver cone technology for the BBC, and famously they were pushing forward the state-of-the-art in audio reproduction intentionally so that they could have consistent standards across all of their BBC program material and that kind of thing. The focus on the material that the cone is made out of is where the company started. But in the many years since, they've become known for excellent crossover design, real slow pace of engineering, and lots of thought and really intentional moves with their design. And they're also known for taking their group of speakers and just continually developing them. Instead of coming out with something new and the latest and greatest design methods, they stay true to their roots and just have been focused on refinement over the years. So the XD is the newest line from Harbeth, and all of their speakers were reinvented in this XD. Not too many changes were made, but a lot of the upgrades that came with the limited edition anniversary series are now just stock and standard on the XD series. The small P3 ESR speaker in the XD line is the only one to receive a major crossover update. And so most of the crossovers were left the same, but the internal wiring and the binding posts and certain capacitors and certain components in the crossovers were updated with the anniversary level. Fit and finish is something that is absolutely paramount to a company like Harbeth, and really everything that comes down to a precision type of deal, like driver matching, component matching, and crossovers. These are all really finely matched in the factory at Harbeth. And to the point where as resellers of hi-fi audio at TMR and sellers of new products, we have seen both A stock of Harbeth and B stock of Harbeth. And it's notable to us that the B stock that we get from Harbeth is so perfect. In every case, we are scratching our heads wondering, where is the blemish? We don't see it. So it's one of these companies that prides itself in extreme high standards of manufacturing, and just getting near these things, you get that sense immediately. You'll notice a very clever design point on the front is a recessed slot right here that allows the grilles to be placed and keeps the grilles from adding reflections to the sound. Many grilles on speakers have walls because they come off of the speaker baffle. In this case, all you have on the speaker baffle is a thin piece of acoustically transparent fabric. So it's a really clever way to get the grill out of the way when it comes to, the sound of the speaker. Now let's dive in a little bit to the way that this speaker becomes such an easygoing character in the Harbeth lineup. It's got an easy impedance plot. It's an easy load for amplifiers because its impedance, which its average is 6 ohms, it never gets above 10 ohms. So it's a really stable plot, especially at the top end of its frequency response. Now, some amplifiers, including many Class D amplifiers, really don't like a rising impedance toward the top of the frequency spectrum. They can become reactive and actually produce a rising frequency response of themselves. And so the C7ES-3 being a really benign, what we would call a benign amplifier load, makes it perfectly capable on many Class D amplifiers and also tube amplifiers. You can get down to 20 watts and drive these really well. So the C7 was engineered to be a very easy speaker when it comes to amp speaker synergy, which is something that we talk about a lot here at the Music Room. As well, they are front ported, and so that allows actually for great flexibility in placement. You can get them a little closer to the wall, you can put them on an entertainment center, you can even put them in bookshelves if you want. Now these are audiophile reference speakers and do the best pulled out into the room on stands like this. But Harbeth owners might know that Harbeth speakers really like a wide presentation, and you can really maximize your soundstage width by spreading out your Harbeth quite wide. So you can set up kind of a shallower and wider listening triangle and get these a little closer to the walls, you know, for domestic tranquility and to help the look of the room, you know, as well as the sound of the room. The C7 is right smack dab in the line of Harbeth. On the one side you've got the P3, on the other side you've got the giant 40.3 XD. And to anyone thinking about trying out Harbeth, to anyone thinking that they wouldn't have enough space for the bigger speakers in Harbeth line, or to anyone with a small to medium large room, it's really a flexible speaker. This is the speaker to get into Harbeth. This is the speaker to introduce you to what's possible when you combine exquisite driver technology that's been refined over 40 years with state-of-the-art crossover design.